So Shadow Missile and Shadow Impact does more damage.
Well, were you going to learn the sword skill so you could wield the fiery sword?
Can't yet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there it is.
Magic healing.
Yep. Would like to grab that.
Okay, then you'll have to go up that sidebar. Immobilizes enemies. Ooh.
Yeah, I'll have to keep an eye on that one.
Well, so you go up, by the looks of it, you go right on the stasis line, and then you take a left to get to the healing.
Yeah. I might as well do that. Like, the one-handed rapier will be good, but I don't care that much. What I do want to do is figure out how to use
The
stasis.
I think you have to equip it to your bar.
Yep. Oh, it doesn't even cost that much. Let's see. Bind.
To one of the pads. And you'll want to keep your healing potion around.
Yep.
Oh, you didn't bind stasis to one of the pads?
I did.
Which one?
Right trigger, Y.
Oh, so you're not using the D-pad then?
I use D-pad for items.
Oh.
If I'm in combat, I don't want to have to reach down to the D-pad.
No, that makes sense.
Okay, so we also want to go find the...
The heretics.
Yep. Who are probably going to just be...
Poor townsfolk that...
Oh, it's this guy.
know the
We'll leave that
truth.
for a bit. Either poor townsfolk or just like
Cultists.
another religious member, like just a bunch of like harmless Buddhist type people, and they're like, yeah, that cardinal's had it out for us forever.
Mm-hmm.
He hates us because we like people. Like it could be a Protestant Catholic situation or something like that.
Ah, yeah. Very possible.
Okay, I don't see anything else or anyone here. I do see... Yeah, so keep an eye out for, like, sparkles rising from barrels and boxes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That is a loot point. And nobody seems to care if I just rifle through their bits, so...
Then again, who knows how much of this has been abandoned.
Very true.
Lively there, lads and lasses! I promised the merchants and their prince we'd be off before the tide. You, man, carry that properly. That porcelain is worth more than your life.
Oops. Oh no.
There are some children we'd been best to refuse.
Captain Vasco.
And you are?
I'm de Sardet, the prince's nephew. If all is in order, we will soon be embarking on your boat.
It's a ship, not a boat.
Apologies.
Apologies for my asking, but the young governor isn't with you.
He didn't come home this morning. I need to find him before departure.
I hope nothing's happened to him or he hasn't changed his mind. The tide does not wait.
Perhaps he simply celebrated his imminent departure with a little too much enthusiasm. Is everything ready?
We're short a crew member. The cabin boy is missing. But have no fear, we will leave without him if he does not present himself before the tide.
Is he an important member of the crew?
We don't need him for sailing or navigation. He's only a cabin boy.
He must have simply had a bit too much to drink in celebrating his departure. Like another I know.
I doubt that. Jonas was never one to fancy drink. And it's been 2 days since last he was seen. No, I fear something bad has happened to him. Might I ask you, if you hear anything, could you report it to me? I would like to set sail with a clear mind.
When did you see your cabin boy for the last time?
It's been 2 days since I've had any news at all. It wasn't out of the ordinary until this morning. My men have free shore leave when we're at dock. But the day of departure, every able-bodied sailor must be present on the ship.
Does the boy know anyone in Serene?
Other than fellow Norts, you mean? I don't think so, but it's difficult to be sure.
This Jonas, does he have any close friends amongst the crew?
In tradition, we are all members of the same family. But yes, there would be Flavia and Lauro.
Might I have a word with them?
As you wish. You'll find them over there, in port.
Have you seen anyone wandering about? Suspicious looking. Maybe clandestine passengers.
Take a look around. There are far too many comings and goings to spot possible stowaways. As long as they don't try and get on my ship, I pay no attention to them. That said, we did catch ourselves a smuggler just a while ago.
Smuggler? Maybe he could be of some use. Where could I find him?
In the port jails, not far from the warehouses. May I ask you, why the sudden interest in smugglers and the odd stowaway?
Did you notice how one of the smugglers was lacking an L?
I've noticed a couple of those. Vile was misspelled too. Again, this is a French studio, so the localization isn't quite perfect. Openly? Openly?
Is this about the heretics? Do we
Yeah.
know if he's in league with them?
Who knows?
Okay.
A couple of heretics are planning on leaving Serene. The ambassador of Teleme has entrusted me with the job of capturing them.
Happy to see that you trust me enough to seek my counsel in the affair. Just so happens that I heard someone talking about the couple. The Cardinal's men are far from discreet. They're making quite some ruckus, asking to search our warehouses. We, of course, refused entry. Only the Nords have access. I'm sorry, Your Excellency, but I'm certain your potential stowaways aren't far. But we won't allow you to make a search to grab them. Not officially, at least.
What do you mean?
That discretion and malice are often more useful than titles and words.
Could you tell me a little about your guild?
We are masters of the oceans. Our ships can sail where no others dare.
Thanks to your magic, so I've heard. How do you become a Nord?
Our magic, yes, that only the Nords master. As for your question, any child born on one of our ships is sea-born. He is a Nord from birth. Others are sea-gifted, joining the Nords for different reasons, often from a young age. It's how the guild is made and maintains its numbers.
Could you tell me anything about our destination? The island of Tiefredi?
It is a magnificent place. Wild. Spared from your wars and your mines, for now. The natives have a relationship with their land and consider it sacred. They're a very friendly people, welcoming, that will appear to you strangely familiar. I've also heard that there are a great many exotic creatures, some enormous. But I wouldn't know what else to tell you. I've never strayed far from the ports.
What do you think of our port?
Are you referring to this one? It is the biggest high seas port on the continent. Thanks to your prince, even though it remains part of your city, it holds a particular status for us Nords. Certain zones are owned completely by us, and maritime law holds office. It's a good port. Were it not for the Malachor, it would be a pleasant place to dock.
Be back soon, Captain.
We need to have a word with that people smuggler the sailor mentioned.
He's a captain, Kurt, like yourself. And in order to interrogate the smuggler, we'll need to find a way into his jail.
It's interesting how the captain had what appears to be Maori tattoos.
Yeah. I'm a little bit disappointed that he doesn't look Maori. Like, I noticed that with the trailer that everybody seemed to just be pretty Caucasian. And, like...
Well, we did have, I mean, Sahin and others were Middle Eastern.
Sahim was definitely Middle Eastern, but, like, even, I don't know. Like, if you're gonna do a fantasy...
But once again, this is a fantasy world, so...
Yeah. I was just gonna say, if you're gonna do a fantasy world, go balls to the wall, have a bunch of dwarven sailors, make all the...
Dwarven sailors?
Yeah, why not?
That or you create completely different people.
Yeah, or that. I don't know. I'm a big fan of originality and style and whatnot. It's like, this actually is engaging me so far, which is good. But
I suppose they were, it reminds me of all of the times I've ever seen, or, I mean, even in the book, Moby Dick, there was a Maori
Yeah.
sailor along with the rest of the crew.
I guess I just wish, because my character is very clearly like a wizard, I wish there was more like overt magic being used here.
Well, the Knots did say that they used magic.
Yeah.
Maybe the wind magic or something to help with the sails.
But like with a lot of these games, whenever I see them, it's like, oh, we have magic. Okay, what is different about your world as a result of this magic? We got guns, and it's like, like
Yeah,
you know, there
think
should
if
be
a place
like
had magic, there would be less
you should almost see
tech?
like
I don't know.
wizards like
Magitech.
yeah, like small amounts of magitech just carrying things around. You know, automated carts, floating objects that like a wizard is loading the boat en masse with levitation instead, maybe.
But this looks like 1700s Earth.
Yeah, with just the inclusion of magic and potentially weird stuff on this island. We'll see how the island goes. But yeah, like golems and stuff. I don't know. I'd love to see what would happen if you took, you know, a very high fantasy world and brought it up, not to the modern era, but, you know, to this era, even, you know, 1700s, give or take.
Was this tree system the same as the other systems?
Uh,
I almost would have rather had.
Hmm?
If we're going to be going to this island with crazy potential nature magic, why didn't they just start you off as a swordsman or a ranged unit,
and then you find the magic
and then
over
you
there.
find the magic over there?
Good day, good sir.
Ah,
How might I be of service?
You can start by explaining to me why you refused to honor the orders agreed upon with the guard.
There's been a misunderstanding, sir. Of course we're ready to honor the orders. In fact, I've already had a word with your master-at-arms.
They're asking that we pay again, despite having already paid.
It's just that the price has gone up since. I've nothing to do with it.
This is inadmissible. If you agree on a sum, you need to honor that agreement.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm just an agent. And I'm only obeying orders.
wait, what? You guys already paid for something, and
Yeah,
you're
they
trying to
raised
pick
the
it up,
price.
but they raised the price?
Yep.
Why don't we go and solicit other suppliers, Kurt?
When we've already paid for the merchandise? If these thieves agree to reimburse the original payment, it's what we do immediately. And do know, in the future, we won't be shopping with them. Well, I should think not.
Your master has apparently asked you to demand a second payment for this merchandise.
That's right. He told me that their attendant seemed to be hiding something when he passed the order. And so he must have thought the guard would end up paying in the end, whatever he asked for.
I'll be damned. And I'm the one they've sent to settle the affair.
Sorry, Captain, it's nothing personal. I'm only following orders.
Following orders. Yeah, we hear you. Makes one wonder which one of the two of us is a coin guard.
This whole story sounds suspicious and stinks of a scandal. You're demanding a second payment but refuse to reimburse the one that was already made.
I'm not the one demanding nor refusing. It's my master.
This stubborn fool is pushing me to madness. You understand now why I'm asking for your help?
Threaten a prison sentence. You have 100% persuasion for that.
Yep.
I don't think you understand who you're dealing with. Perhaps I failed to present myself properly. Lord de Sardet, nephew of the Prince d'Orsay and legate of the Congregation of Merchants. During our conversation, you explained to me that your master forced you to commit a crime. That's regrettable, especially as you will be considered his accomplice in extortion, theft. You know as well as I that the congregation does not tolerate such illegal activities.
But I'm only obeying orders.
That is a shame. Well, as orders are the only language you seem to understand, I order you to return the guard the merchandise, without delay. Unless you'd rather your master is hung and that you finish your days in prison.
As you request, my lord. I shall go immediately and ask that these crates be delivered to the attendant.
Now that's a wise decision.
Thank you. I was beginning to think this would never end. You're certainly honoring your new title. Bravo! The quartermaster must be expecting us.
Well, name drop works.
To my help! And death to the others!
How'd you find these guys?
I don't know. They're just there.
You're running out of energy.
What the? They forgot I
You're
existed?
running out of energy.
Yep.
Drink a potion.
Oh,
To my
And did they heal up too?
And
Yeah, they
death
did.
to the others.
It's one of those things where you can't kite them out of their territory. See? They lost interest
that's
again.
dumb. Okay, I'm gonna wait for my magic to come back. I'm gonna stasis them. Because I'm a little injured. Not too injured, but injured enough.
To my help. And
Okay, so-
death to the other.
We could have gone for a younger look with the guy. He does sound like a very young man. But oh well, you like your silver hair.
My
And
god,
death to
really?
the others.
What's going on with them? Oh yeah, you're using stasis. Cool.
Yeah, I use...
Things are about to get dicey.
You're pushing people over obstacles? That's interesting.
So stasis is pretty stupidly overpowered. This hammer, also stupidly overpowered. Effectively, the hammer does such high stagger damage that, let's see. It does such high stagger damage that the enemies just kind of can't... They can't do anything. They just die. My only problem is when they get the jump on me, or if there's more than one of them. Should probably heal soon. I was just hoping there'd be...
I think it's interesting that to show in part the squalor of the city, they have these intermittent barking dogs all over the place.
Yeah. That mean we live in squalor? That's what you're implying?
We were just walking around the neighborhood and there were dogs barking out every window.
Oh. So craftsmanship allows you to upgrade your weapons and armor. Science allows you to create potions and traps. Need knowledge to be able to use the crafting table, spend points in the desired talents, use pieces of equipment or companions that can give you the bonus. Talent point will unlock new recipes. You will also need... That's not English. Okay, so...
But we met a really pretty cat today. She was a gorgeous kitty. She was gray, but she had sort of like a orange-brown stripes to her. We had never seen that before. She was most definitely a mix between a tabby and something else. We're guessing potentially a Siamese. She had blue eyes. But that might account for the fact that her stripes came in a different color. And she came up to us and she sniffed our hands and let us pet her. It was cute.
Okay, so I can make healing potion.
People are asking if the game allows for multi-classing. It looks like you can push your bar in one direction or the other.
Yeah, so you can multi-class freely. Oh.
But of course, whenever you do multi-classing with these branching trees, it means that you sacrifice your potential to get to higher level skills in one if you put points into another. And Bound by Flame, didn't we go heavily magic melee or something?
I think I went like two-handed weapons. I forget. But yeah, so if you want to do guns and magic, you can. It doesn't let you multi-class from the outset, but once you start leveling up, you can get whatever you want.
Sir Desade, I presume. It is an honor to make your acquaintance. Captain, you set sail soon. Have you seen to our little business?
Yes, we were finally able to recover your merchandise.
Excellent news. I'm afraid, though, that your mission isn't completely finished, Kurt.
Blast me, I'm a captain, not an errand boy.
The commander was quite explicit.
Very well. What do I need to do?
The merchandise that you obtained needs to be sent to Tier 4D as soon as possible. But the Port Authority formalities for shipping take an eternity to wade through. And we've already lost quite a bit of time with this dishonest merchant.
Are you blatantly asking us to smuggle this merchandise and contraband?
I would never ask you to do such a thing, Your Excellency.
Ah, but you don't mind asking that of Kurt?
Well, now, if he finds an alternative solution that is less, illegal, that would be fine. The method matters not. But this cargo must reach the Isle on the next ship.
Marvelous.
Well then, I await your return with utmost impatience. I'm certain you shall do what's required.
Gonna drink a potion.
So we need to get the stuff on the ship. Hopefully with permission, but... They seem to deal in firearms.
Oh!
Hmm? Oh, that was the door that you couldn't get into.
You just tell me we couldn't have just scooted through here? Be a little bit cheated.
I mean, you would have been entering the merchant's abode.
Saved me some trouble. Okay, it doesn't seem like they... Well, not the merchant's abode. This is the guild.
The Merchant's Guild?
No, for the soldiers.
Oh, the Soldiers Guild. Right, there's so many guilds. So
Yeah, that's the Mercs Guild.
You're part of the Merchant Guild, though, right? And the religious sect?
No.
Because your uncle
I'm part
is
of
the merchants.
The de facto... So this whole city is ruled by the merchants... Or, yeah, the Covenant of Merchants or whatever it is. Merchant Covenant. And, more or less de facto merchant nobility.
Wait, the congregation is of merchants?
Yeah.
Hey, then why do they have cardinals and stuff?
The cardinal is a different religion entirely.
Sir, you still haven't found your cousin. As you well know, we cannot leave without him.
Have no fear. I will bring him back in time to make our scheduled departure. Is everything ready?
I'm still without news of my cabin boy.
Okay. Merchandise.
I have a favor to ask before we leave.
I'm all ears.
We would like to load some merchandise into your ship's hold.
Impossible. You're too late for that. All merchandise must be registered at the Port Authority, and the formalities are long. So, unless you're asking me to turn smuggler and hide contraband on my vessel...
I wouldn't go that far. We're only talking about a few crates after all.
Well then, they'll have to wait. The next ship for New Serene leaves in a month.
Hellfire. If that shipment doesn't leave today, the commander will have my hide.
Captain, I understand your position, but isn't there some way we can get these crates on board?
I doubt it. Even if I wanted to help you, my quartermaster is a half-crazed bridge troll. He's gotten into his head that a gang of ruffians want to use my ship to pass contraband over to Tier 4D. He's placed guards where our cargo is being held before being loaded. All that is not in the warehouse, and noted on the manifest, will be left on the docks. Sorry, but your crates are gonna have to wait until the next ship sets sail.
Sorry, Kurt. At least we tried.
The commander is gonna have my head. I'm sure that's what he wanted in giving me this impossible task.
In that case, we're going to have to doctor the manifest ourselves. It must be at the Harbour Master's office.
Of course, they're gonna do that.
Be back soon, Captain.
I wonder how long it will take us to get to Tier 4D at this rate.
A couple hours.
Uh,
Chapter 1 is side questing in shit dock land.
I wanted to see the giant monsters and
We'll see them.
spirit tribes and whatnot.
Oh. Those
Sounds
under
good.
control of another faction than yours. Certain places are forbidden to you. A costumed torso of the faction will allow you to trick the guards. You can also try a stealth approach. Guard spots. Okay.
Do you have a different outfit that might help you in that area?
Well, that's what I was gonna go see if I could buy. That's cool. Oh.
Captain, sir, we were given orders to wait here with the merchandise.
You're going to have to wait. We need to find a way to clear the access to the warehouse.
Oh, so those are the guys with your carts.
Okay, so while we're here, heretic hunt and
Yeah, why don't we try to find the cabin boy? Maybe if you find the cabin boy and save his skin, the guy will let some extra merch onto the ship. Though I doubt you're gonna have to probably
yeah, I
still
doubt
doctor
he'd
the
make an
manifest.
exception in that manner. I think we're gonna have to do espionage. So this is also kind of a light tutorial, admittedly teaching us stealth, faction tactics, negotiation, so on and so forth. I appreciate it. I prefer this kind of tutorial than the hard tutorial, where they're just like, here's how you do things. Okay, so we want to check
Torso.
Sailor's coat. Or custom officer. How much money do I have? I have enough for both. We're going to buy both.
The officers would perhaps give you a better clout amongst the sailors, but who knows?
But this... So, my assumption is custom officer...
Oh look, that one has an exclamation point on it. The sailor's coat. Oh, is it just because it was new and you hadn't equipped it yet? Probably.
Ingredients, merchandise, the quest. Yeah, I'm not sure if any of these are specifically for factions. Well, let's do the cabin boy first, because that might get us the chess piece. If this doesn't count, then something else will. Okay, let's go find...
The hiding place of this smuggler is filthy. But perhaps we'll discover some useful information.
Ultraband! Oh, sailor's coat. Well,
Seems like a bunch of cots and bunks.
Good day. Someone told me that you're a friend of Jonas's, the young cabin boy who's gone missing.
That's right, yeah. Are you looking for him?
Yes. Your captain asked me to go and find him.
Happy to hear he's taken the disappearance seriously.
Whoops.
What can I do for you?
Is she blind?
No, I think they broke her her eyes when animating, because you can see she's trying to like lower her eyelids further. My assumption is, oh, faction symbol is next to the coin symbol. Thank you.
When did you last see him?
2 days ago, in the evening. We went to have a drink in the tavern. Jonas, Lauro, and myself.
Did anything seem out of the ordinary? Was he troubled?
Maybe a tad troubled. Like he was somewhere else.
Why would that be? Give me your best guess.
Boy, I haven't the faintest idea.
What does Jonas do in his free time, when you're on land?
He just hangs around here or there. You know the cabin boys don't have half a sailor's wages. And when evening comes, we usually go down the tavern with good old Lauro.
Did he ever have one too many?
Never. He sips his pint like it was bad medicine. One drink lasts him the whole night.
Ah, that reminds him of myself. Well, he reminds me of myself. I never like having too much to drink if it's just like tiny little sips.
Lasts longer that way.
Yeah, but
does he know anyone in Serene?
No one, far as I know.
Well, that was fast.
Okay.
Do you think he could have made himself any enemies?
I wouldn't think that for a moment. Jonas has a good heart and he steers clear of trouble and troublemakers.
I don't know where to start with this. Do you have any idea?
No. Lauro won't stop telling anyone who will lend him an ear that the boy was carried off by thugs.
And you don't believe him?
I like Lauro, don't get me wrong, he's like a brother. But to be honest, he drinks a little more than he should. The itch for a drink gets us all, but to him more than others, and when you drink too much, the imagination wanders. Here, yesterday, it was me who tied one over, and I thought I heard Jonas's voice by the canal. I called back to him, as you guessed, but then nothing. Drink. It blurs the senses.
I mean, that is why you should never have too much of it or any at all.
What do you
At
think
that
about
point.
Captain Vasco?
He's a damn good navigator and an excellent leader of men. He knows his craft well, in spite of being so young.
How old is he?
He's not seen his 25th year yet. If he keeps it up, he'll be an admiral one day.
I need to be going. Farewell.
Man, these people are young. Was she saying that the captain was less than 25?
Yep.
And you're-
old!
Yeah, you're turning 29 tomorrow.
It was... Action symbols next to the... coin symbol. So, the sailor's coats and the customs officer coats are all part of the same faction.
Mm-hmm. But with an officer's coat, you look like
Yeah.
you're a higher rank.
Maybe.
There's Lauro.
Good day, sailor. I've been told that you know the missing cabin boy well. Is that right?
You talking about Jonas? You bet your stars I know him. But like I've been crying to the 9 deaf winds, he didn't go missing, he was taken.
Were you a witness to the event?
Yes, I was. Even though I'd had a few tumblers in the belly, I hadn't yet lost my head. The other day, in the tavern, I saw him talking to a well-dressed man, surrounded by some other sly ruffians. And then when we left, him and I, Flavia left a little earlier, you understand. Well, those brutes were there, waiting for him. They just up and took him like that. Grabbed his arms and poof. Gone. Vanished.
Why didn't you intervene?
I tried to, believe me. But my legs betrayed me. Wavering they were. And I fell into the gutter.
Did you report this to the captain?
Unfortunately not. I know all too well what weight my words carry. Even Flavia treated me like a drunken fool. And the captain? No, not telling him that. I still have some pride left. You get me?
Did Jonas seem troubled to you the night he disappeared?
Maybe. For sure he wasn't his usual self.
Do you know what was on his mind?
No. No idea.
Why would anyone want to snatch a mere cabin boy?
How would I know? Jonas is a gentle boy who keeps his head down. You think my story is nothing but mist too, don't you?
It's just that I can't imagine a gang of thugs hoping to get a ransom for a cabin boy. Did anyone else see the kidnapping?
There was still a small crowd in the tavern. But outside, I seem to recall that regular being there. We play cards with him from time to time. Kind of fellow who plays from morning to night time to be that skilled. But now and again he comes out. When nature calls, you know. I kind of remember his face being there.
Ah, well, we'll have
Thank
to look
you,
at the
Lara.
tavern.
I need to be going.
Strange story, this is.
Something isn't right here, I can feel it. We need to lift the veil on this.
Do you think the cabin boy is more than he seems? Or is
Could
he
be.
providing for someone
Cabin
here, or
boy
is he
could
a
be part
runaway?
of like a smuggling group. Keep an eye out for these sparklies.
Mm-hmm.
I can blood resin. But I want to snag as much as I can because money.
It's ammunition. Yeah.
Hopefully I get to carry it all with me.
A lot of wood in this town, but it seems to be strewn all about. It's like they are hoping to rebuild, but everything just seems to be crumbling.
Greedfall. A quest can be completed in several different ways. So cunning, persuasion, blah, 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 blah. Huh. I think that's a tutorial that was supposed to have popped up a long time ago.
Tavern keeper.
I see you're back. Can I pour you something this time?
I'm looking for a Naut, a young cabin boy who's been missing roll call for 2 days now.
A Naut, you say? That's not a lot to go on. There are quite a few that come to my tavern.
According to one of his fellows, he would have been taken right here.
A kidnapping? In my establishment? You surely jest. Or at least I hope you do. I would have noticed. That doesn't hold water.
Someone told me about one of your faithful clients. A big gambler, it would seem.
I see. An able-bodied man. Passes his time lightening the pouches of sailors coming through.
Where might I find him at this time?
Here? He would never give away his chair at his table. Anything else?
I need to be off. Farewell.
Goodbye.
And he hadn't seen Constantine?
I could ask him about it, but we'll be going other places.
Who are you? I don't recognize you. Am I in your debt?
No. Have no fear about that. It's for a different reason that I am here. I'm looking for a naut that disappeared 2 days ago, after visiting this establishment. A young cabin boy. 2 members of his crew accompanied him.
Yes, that does ring a bell. I've played with the 3 of them.
What can you tell me about the boy? How was he that night?
He seemed rather nervous, as if he was worried about something. Didn't feel like playing, that I remember. And he must have been right to be nervous, if he's disappeared.
What can you tell me about the boy? How was he that night?
He seemed... And he must
Yeah, I
have...
already...
Tell me what happened that evening.
A rich merchant came in, with a band of strong arms. The kind of men you can round up for a few coins, if you catch my
Mercenaries.
drift. They exchanged words with the cabin boy. The kid was defensive, not sitting pretty. And then they finally left.
And after that?
It just so happens that I did go out for a breather. I needed some fresh air. And I think I might well have seen those same men grab him. But that was none of my business. I wouldn't have thought that they were kidnapping him if that's what it was. They weren't particularly rough with him.
Who was the rich merchant, do you think? A jilted lover? A moneylender?
No, sir. You are in luck. It so happens that I know the man. It was Sir Fontaine, that merchant.
Where can I find him?
He has a house in the wealthy boroughs, just off the canal. A stone's throw from the Thélème embassy.
Thank you. You've been immensely helpful.
This man is completely owned by his love for the game. Do you think we can trust him?
What would he gain from lying?
I have no idea. But what would any wealthy merchant gain from holding a penniless child?
That we'll have to find out. If the boy was already on edge, did he steal something? Did he have a short tryst with the merchant's daughter? What could have gone on?
Is he the merchant's daughter?
Pretending to be a cabin boy? That kind of thing? Oh.
Possibly.
Could be. Someone who desperately wanted to see what it was like sailing or to get away from their oppressive
it
lifestyle.
makes sense why the cabin boy doesn't drink too hard.
And doesn't want to break the law or do anything unruly.